Yeah, these reenactments are a little ridiculous. But did Luigi really do that? As of course, there's a lot of questions about what is really happening here with the assassination of the CEO, as I think we might have a CIA PSYOP on our hands, as I'm going to lay out the argument for that in this particular video, as there's so many suspicious things unfolding right now that, in my opinion, are just too coincidental, as it's fair to say here that Donald Trump has absolutely obliterated the left and right divide, where even many popular leftist pundits and politicians are moving over towards this larger populist side. And with this major wedge removed from society, what will the elites and the establishment use to, of course, further provide conflict and infighting amongst the local rabble and populations? Well, I think we just had it set and launched with this latest saga of Luigi Mangone, who was just seen on video for the first time as he was transported by police officers to a courtroom in Pennsylvania, where he was apprehended a few hours ago at a McDonald's. As police officers have just released more photos and images of this man, who currently is being charged with forgery, carrying a weapon without a license, tampering with records or identification, possessing instruments of a crime, providing false identification to law enforcement, and soon, probably for, of course, the assassination of the UnitedHealthcare CEO that has sparked a plethora of just absolutely bewildering kind of reactions from online people that somehow are justifying, praising, excusing, or promoting the larger cold-blooded assassination of a father. Something, of course, that should raise a lot of suspicions about why this is happening, especially with all the larger questions specifically about this specific issue, as there's anonymous accounts like this that are calling this cold-blooded killer a hero for some reason, as there's crazy, unhinged individuals like Taylor Lorenz that are literally coming out and saying that she felt joy over the assassination of the UnitedHealthcare CEO. There's a professor at Penn University that, again, appears to be celebrating this larger heinous criminal action, calling Luigi an icon. And the list of adorations still continue in a very bewildering way, as some online accounts are saying that he's bi, some people are saying that he just took matters into his own hand, as literally crazy people are saying things like this.
He shot that CEO. I hope he's got a list. I hope he's working down.
Yeah, as the justification for all of this is nonsensical, not logical, but does play up on some larger truths within our society that does have a lot of people thinking about all of this, as perfectly represented by cartoons like this, that in my opinion are absolutely wrong, but play up to the larger kind of disenfranchised and disillusioned youth that we have in this particular country, that these ideas speak to and resonate with, as there's also a lot of fake news lore surrounding this particular event that is spreading it like wildfire, as of course we have fake news posts like this highlighting a screenshot from Amazon showing how over 100,000 people have bought this Luigi hat today. And then you go to Amazon and then you look, oh, it's only 100 in the past month, and it's actually a fake screenshot out there that is meant to, of course, portray a fake image out there. There's also the news of a YouTube channel releasing a video with a 5-second countdown, 60-second timer, with a very similar name to, of course, the Twitter profile of Luigi that is hinting at releasing the truth in a few days from now. As the viewer of this video is told that everything is scheduled and to be patient for now, as a lot of people are bringing up the fact that the video was actually from a YouTube account that was created in the day of his arrest, and that a lot of this is being artificially fabricated here. As very importantly here, there's also 2 fake manifestos right now circulating the internet that a lot of people are sharing because it speaks to the larger kind of injustices in our society, specifically when it comes to the healthcare industry that, let's be honest here, isn't the best. It's very predatory. It's filled with a lot of rules, with a lot of regulations. It's outdated, in my opinion. As personally, I literally have to go to places like Mexico myself to get alternative health therapies that are not available here in the United States, that have helped me out tremendously with all of my problems that I dealt with in my own personal life. And if I wasn't critically thinking about everything that's kind of being analyzed and everything that's being pushed forward here, I probably, like some other people who are not critically thinking about this would be captivated by this particular story that is filled with a lot of mystery, is filled with a lot of unorthodox kind of events that don't routinely play out in our society and are extremely rare. As you're now trying to tell me that this guy with his manifesto and the weapon that he used was caught because on camera when he was flirting with a girl, he decided to lift off his mask? You're telling me he was caught in McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, because he temporarily took off his mask to eat a hash brown? Hold on, wait a minute. Was this guy trying to get caught here? As a lot of people are also pointing to the fact that he looks a lot different than all the original photos that were released of him. As another user here on social media, Diamond Eyes Fox, tweeted about how there's lore with the number 286 on his Twitter profile that does represent a lot of kind of very weird left-wing and right-wing, very niche ideas that does further break up this kind of left-right divide and push what I think is going to be the new narrative that is going to be unfolding under the Donald Trump presidency. That is going to be something that is going to be concerning, as it's not just the copycat effect here that we have to worry about, specifically with a lot of people now being inspired by this cold-blooded assassin, but the lore here is important to talk about, even if it might be potentially coincidental. As Luigi's Twitter banner also has what looks like a Pokemon character called Breloom's Pokédex, whose number is 286. He deleted a lot of his older tweets and has a total of 286 posts on his Twitter account. As a health insurance denial code 286 is specifically when the appeal time limits for a healthcare claim are not met, as it looks like he was also at a McDonald's 286 miles away from the scene of the crime. As a lot of people are saying, that's kind of weird here, specifically bringing up Proverbs 28-6, which has a saying in it that reads, "Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways." As another Twitter user, Vitrio, laid out an extensive timeline of Luigi here that I think is worth paying attention to, as he goes into great detail about almost every aspect of his life, how his family was loaded, his grandfather built golf resorts and luxury clubs, how he was at a $40,000 a year tuition prep school that he was the valedictorian of, as he was an extremely intelligent, capable human being, as classmates described him as, quote, inventive, courageous, charming, as he specifically studied computer science and minored in philosophy, as he got a job in San Francisco in 2020, and then in 2021 he got in a surfing accident while on vacation in Hawaii, which created some very chronic back pain, which prevented him from being able to work out, to sit, and live a, quote, normal life. We're also finding out, according to the Daily Mail, that this was a specific injury that after a back surgery actually made him impotent and prevented him from being able to successfully copulate with women. As one of his former roommates said that, quote, he knew that dating and being physically intimate with his back condition wasn't possible. Quote, I remember him telling me that and my heart just breaks. As a lot of people described that he went through a, quote, healthcare system hellscape as the insurance was denying surgeries, as he went to specific specialists, how a lot of treatments failed, and the pain that he was going through just kept getting worse, as he then started to rant about the parasitic healthcare executives. It's also reported that in 2021, he got into a lot of weird niche books. He made a lot of posts about banning online adult content, and then started to explore psychedelics for, quote, self-healing. As in 2022, it's reported that he also went on an ayahuasca retreat, as he was, quote, desperate for relief, looking for answers beyond medicine, as according to some, he, quote, saw God, and during his trip was fighting off shadowy entities, as he allegedly described them as 6D demons that were trying to implant ideas into his mind, as he then went on and tweeted a lot of weird things like not all pain is physical, and, quote, they feed on fear, but you can't push them back if you see their shape. As it's also being reported that his friends were thinking that he's having a, quote, spiritual awakening, as he deleted a lot of his tweets in 2022, only posted sporadically, and by 2023 he has fully withdrawn, and a lot of people have seen him as totally different, as he stopped talking about the demons, as in 2023 he moved to Hawaii permanently, as he's being described as someone who was broke, depressed, and living off savings that was quietly spiraling out of control, as his online presence then went kind of dark. A lot of his older tweets were deleted. And then in December of 2024 is, of course, when he took this very egregious, aggressive action and took the life of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, as he had 3D printed weapons, multiple fake IDs, and a handwritten manifesto all on him at the scene of his apprehension. As a lot of people are now trying to kind of assume that this could have been a job because he was, quote, an incel. But it definitely does read like a very kind of tragic story that a lot of people will be sympathetic to. And whether these facts and details are true or whether they're not, this is a story that's circulating online right now. And it is having a major effect here, as I'm left with a lot of questions and some assumptions to make here. As I think there's a likely possible scenario here that this guy was probably recruited by an intelligence agency. Let's just say something like the CIA that does openly recruit at UPenn. When you look at psychedelics, the intelligence agencies do have a long record of drugging people, influencing them in order to, of course, perform MKUltra mind control-like experiments. And I'm kind of left with the question, could this be one of them that went awry here, or could this be a deliberate one that's going along with this kind of lore, with this kind of story that is right out of the Joker? Very similar to kind of V for Vendetta a little bit too. A lot of kind of resonance within a lot of the kind of predictive programming that we have seen inundated on mainline society that has been implanted with these ideas that are ready to make connections subconsciously without us even knowing it. Was this man a victim of MKUltra? Was he brainwashed? Was he told to do this? Well, I don't know. But there's also a little bit of a hypocrisy here, as of course a lot of people are branding him as an anti-capitalist, that he's going after the rich. But he was rich himself. His family was loaded, had a crap ton of money, and a lot of people estimate his family was actually richer than the UnitedHealthcare CEO. Another fact here was that he was going against consumerism, but then he was shopping at like Starbucks and McDonald's. As of course, RFK Jr. would be very disappointed in him for that particular reason, out of many reasons. As of course, he's a cold-blooded assassin that literally took the life of a father. And I think more than ever, right now, there's a potential that we could be going through a larger intel agency kind of PSYOP. And I think that's why it's more important than ever to call this out more than ever, as it's pretty clear here. Donald Trump just absolutely eviscerated the left-right divide in this country, as many prominent liberals went over to his side, supported him, and are now going to be the new faces of his future administration that is going to be radically changing things. There's no longer this larger kind of political divide in this country, as the left has lost a lot of its legitimacy and a lot of its trust amongst the American people because of their woke, insane, radical policies. Now, with the left just absolutely being obliterated, with Donald Trump having the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court, the executive office, the media, the social media, the culture, even Mark Zuckerberg, and all these other people literally groveling on their knees, going to Mar-a-Lago here, with all the world leaders in France literally being captivated by Donald Trump here, this left-right divide no longer is as prevalent as it was before. So isn't the main wedge that has made people fight each other. And if you're someone who's in the establishment, if your reigns of control are dependent on people fighting each other and not working together and fixing their problems, which would make you irrelevant, if you were some of these powerful people, you would try to create and initiate a new kind of divide and conquer strategy, which I think this guy could be setting the groundwork for. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. It's just a theory. What do you think about it? Or I could just be looking into this way too much. But I think my spidey senses are absolutely correct here. And if you agree, get this video out there. Start the conversation before it's too late so we could battle the psyops here in real time. As, of course, fixing your own problems, taking care of yourself, not needing to be dependent on health insurance or hospitals is something that, of course, we strive to help you do all through not just our informative health videos on lukeunfiltered.com, but, of course, more importantly, through wearechange.shop, where we got a lot of really great, awesome products available to you. One of the best ones that we just released right now is Common Sense Creatine. This is something that I take every single day. It has helped me out tremendously. This has been extensively lab tested. I went out there and I made sure I found the best, purest, cleanest creatine. This is specifically from Europe. Best stuff on the market out there. And after talking to multiple health experts in this larger field, this is something that a lot of people, especially elderly people, especially older women, need to take for their own personal health and well-being. It is great if you work out. It is great for your cognitive health. It is great for also people dealing with brain injuries as well. Look at the studies yourself. I'm not telling you what to do, but start your own independent health journey by going to wearechange.shop and moving away from all of the horrible criminal enterprises in our society and start to take your own health into your own hands. And I think the best thing that you could do is start to take some creatine. I love this stuff. It's absolutely great. And by getting it, you also support this independent media organization. We return with Ian Carroll later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern, and then David Avocado Wolf and Sean Stone tomorrow, all here exclusively on this particular YouTube channel. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys sharing it, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.